Hello and welcome to all of you in Nigeria and around the world to News Circle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ubon Usoro. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The Nigeria Immigration Service has alerted passport applicants and members of the public to expect temporary disruptions on the passport digital platform as it begins scheduled system maintenance. According to a public notice shared on its X handle on Friday and signed by the Service Public Relations Officer, Assistant Comptroller of Immigration Akin Labi, the maintenance will run from December 12 to December 14, 2025. The agency says the exercise is designed to optimize system efficiency and enhance user experience. The federal government says it is intensifying bold reforms to ensure that no Nigerian is denied health care due to cost, distance, or lack of service. This renewed assurance came from the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Patel, as Nigeria joined the global community to mark the Universal Health Coverage Day 2025. Global Television Zara Nasser has details.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention last month revised its website with language that undermines its previous scientifically grounded position that immunizations do not cause the developmental disorder autism. Years of research demonstrate that there is no causal link between vaccinations and autism or other neurodevelopmental disorders. Yet, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., America's health chief, has long voiced anti-vaccine rhetoric and inaccurate claims connecting the two. However, WHO's Ghebreyesus told a press conference in Geneva that autism is not a side effect of vaccines.
Vaccines are among the most powerful, transformative inventions in the history of humankind. Vaccines save lives from about 30 different diseases, including measles, cervical cancer, malaria, and more. Like all medical products, vaccines can cause side effects, which WHO monitors, but autism is not a side effect of vaccines.
A purported connection between the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine and autism stems from a flawed study published in 1998, which was retracted for including falsified data.
In 1998, a study was published in The Lancet that purported to show a link between vaccines and autism spectrum disorders. The study was later shown to be fraudulent and retracted, but the damage had been done, and the idea has never gone away.
Tedros and half from 11 million deaths a year to 4.8 million, with vaccination being a major reason behind the drop. Uyi Agmofwegbe reporting for Global TV News.
The Senate has launched an investigation into what it described as the uneven enforcement of President Bola Tinubu's directive ordering the withdrawal of police personnel from VIPs. Raising the matter under Order 9, Senator Abdul Ningi of Bauchi Central raised concerns on the Senate floor over the withdrawal of its only police orderly. Topsy Gimba reports for us.
Calling for fairness and uniform application of the directive from the President and Vice President to ministers and others. Senator Ningi also noted that some ministers, business persons, and entertainers continue to receive police protection despite the security withdrawal order. He urged the leadership of the Senate to direct the Police Affairs Committee to investigate this selective enforcement, warning that the National Assembly should not be singled out.
I cannot ever imagine that a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who has been here for a very long time, only one orderly, and he is
Deputy President of the Senate Jibril Barau acknowledged the concerns, confirming that the Police Affairs Committee will look into the reports. Senator Barau explained the withdrawal aims to boost police efforts against Nigeria's security challenges and assured that the Senate remains committed to protecting its members.
The police orderlies that were withdrawn from the senators is of concern to us, and I will raise the issue and we'll conduct a proper investigation and let us know why is the directive of Mr. President being flouted. Mr. President gave that order in order to strengthen our police force to deal with our internal security problems, and it was done in good faith.
He expressed hope President Tinubu will reconcile national security with the Senate's full support. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
A former Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, was arraigned before an Abuja High Court sitting in Gwarinpa by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission over alleged 2.2 billion naira contract fraud. Justice Mariam Hassan ordered that the former minister be remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center pending the hearing of his bail application, fixed for Monday, December the 15th. Ngige pleaded not guilty to 8 counts bordering on abuse of office and acceptance of gifts from contractors of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, while he served as supervising minister between September 2015 and May 2023. The leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The leadership crisis within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has entered a new phase as the Fractional National Working Committee, chaired by Tanimu Turaki, convened a high-profile meeting in Abuja with national ex-officio members, National Assembly members, and other party stakeholders. The engagements are aimed at stabilizing the opposition party structure ahead of the 2025 general elections. Our correspondent brings details.
The Turaki-led PDP National Working Committee held a strategic meeting with a broad cross-section of party leaders, including ex-officio members, National Working Committee members, and the National Assembly caucus, to discuss the way forward for the opposition party. The gathering comes amid deepening internal disagreement over party leadership following last month's controversial national convention in Ibadan, which produced Turaki and other NWC members for a 4-year tenure. Turaki described the consultations as crucial to strengthening party's cohesion and preparing for electoral competition in 2027.
We are going to take this party back to the people. So if we are going to take this party back to the owners, who are Nigerian people.
Speaking to key stakeholders, Turaki reiterated that the series of engagements, which include discussion with state chairman and party ex-official members, affirmed the legitimacy and acceptance of his leadership.
At any point in time, you will be in a position in your own right to represent this party and to tell anybody who may need to know what the party is doing, what actually we are doing.
The Turaki-led NWC has continued to reinforce its position. In a recent development, the party issued formal certificates of expulsion to several key figures, including Nyesom Wike, Ayodele Fayose, and Samuel Anyanwu, over alleged anti-party activities, signaling a hardline stance from the incumbent leadership.
Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago has called for a single term for elective and political appointees, saying it would eliminate laziness among politicians. Bago made the call during the inauguration of the newly nominated commissioners and elected chairman and vice chairman of the local government areas. He pointed out that he would have sacked some of his appointees, but he had to defer the action to a second term in office, stressing that he would have to be more decisive. The House of Representatives is raising the alarm over the soaring domestic airfares, warning that millions of Nigerians may struggle to travel on this Christmas. Lawmakers say the sudden is repetitive and threatens the nation's long-standing culture of festive reunion. National Assembly correspondent.
What's to describe as an outrageous surge in domestic airfares. They say traveling by air has become prohibitively expensive, shutting out families hoping to reunite for Christmas. Obinna Agocha, who moved the motion of urgent national importance urged the federal government to work with airlines operators to
a transparent assessment mechanism to create a system to determine the true minimum necessary operational cost for airlines throughout the Christmas season.
Members blamed the rising demand for flights on the poor state of highways and worsening insecurity, which makes
rather than solving the problem, we need to provide more
industry Harmattan weather on operations.
This has been an issue even at the level of, they talk about various levies. They even said about 70% of all constitutes airfare is as a result of levies by the aviation or in the aviation industry.
Following the heated debate, the House resolved to establish a transparent mechanism for assessing airline operational costs during the Christmas period. They also called for a 50% reduction in aviation taxes and for the central bank to prioritize foreign exchange for airline operators at reasonable rates. The House Committee on Aviation has been directed to interface with the industry.
Of national security, the Nigerian Police Force has launched a renewed drive to overhaul and modernize its medical services, ensuring that personnel across the country receive the healthcare supports needed to perform optimally. The initiative marks one of the most ambitious welfare-focused reforms in the force's recent history. Kike Lomo-Okere has details.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, announced the new direction in Abuja during the inaugural national meeting and conference of heads of police medical facilities nationwide. Egbetokun stressed that the health and well-being of police personnel remains central to operational rate of his vision for a modern, well-equipped, and professionally driven police force.
Commitment to building a system where those who protect others are themselves protected, supported, medically empowered to serve at their highest capacity.
The Force Medical Director, AIG Nkechi Eze, outlined the Directorate's expanded responsibilities area, ranging from preventive medicine and trauma care to medical training and national health response capabilities.
This upgrade, graciously approved under your visionary leadership, sir, stands as a profound testament to your unwavering commitment to the welfare of police personnel. It marks the beginning of a new era of modernization, professionalization, and enhanced coordination in preventive healthcare for officers, their families, and the communities we serve.
A major highlight of the conference was the official launch of the nationwide Know Your Numbers campaign, an initiative championed by the IGP to encourage officers to regularly monitor key health indicators such as blood pressure, blood sugar, pulse rate, and hepatitis, as well as HIV status. The campaign is designed to curb avoidable illness and promote longer, healthier service here within the force. With these reforms, the Nigerian Police Force signals a decisive shift towards a more responsive, health-conscious, and professionally grounded institution. Kike Lomo-Okere, Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Circle. When News Circle returns, Super Falcons dropped to 37th in FIFA ranking, remains top in Africa. Details coming shortly. We'll bring you business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us. In business, President Bola Tinubu has officially sent the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper to the Senate for their review and approval. Topsy Kimba has details.
The submission follows the usual legislative process that sets the financial guidelines for the government over the next 3 years ahead of the annual budget presentation. The document, which received approval from the Federal Executive Council on December 5th, was formally presented during today's Senate plenary by the Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibril. Senator Jibril has now referred the paper to the Senate Committee on Finance, taxing them to report back by Wednesday, December 17.
It is with pleasure that I forward the 2026 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, MTF and FSP, for the kind consideration and approval of the distinguished Senate. The 2026 to 2028 MTF and FSP was approved during the Federal Executive Council meeting of December 3rd, 2025.
The Senate adjourned plenary to give committees time to examine the framework alongside the screening of ambassadorial nominees. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
In the same vein, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has formally presented the federal government's 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper to the House of Representatives, setting the stage for work to begin on the 2026 national budget. The document, already approved by the Federal Executive Council, now awaits swift legislative action as requested by the President. National Assembly correspondent Aniatia Patrick brings us details.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has transmitted the federal government's 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, MTF FSP, to the House of Representatives for consideration and approval. In the letter read by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, the President informed the House that the document was approved at the Federal Executive Council meeting of December 3rd, 2025, and will guide the preparation of the 2026 national budget. He sought the cooperation of the National Assembly for swift legislative action.
The 2026 to 2028 MTF and FSP was approved during the Federal Executive Council meeting of December 3rd, 2025.
A motion seeking the review and reform of the contributory pension scheme to improve retirees' welfare moved by Afukpe Afolabi was likewise adopted.
The stop that the contributory pension scheme has failed to address the harsh economic reality faced by retirees, such as increased inflation and living costs.
In addition, the House approved a motion by Ceci Wingan urging the federal government to declare January 15th as a national public holiday in honor of the Nigerian Armed Forces to strengthen national remembrance and appreciation of the military's sacrifices.
With designated national holiday, limit citizens' participation in wreath-laying ceremonies, remembrance parades, military honor events, school-based civic lessons, and community-led tributes, thereby weakens national consciousness of military history.
Also, a motion on the need to reject the proposed ceding of parts of Edo State for the creation of Sorobe States moved by Omosede Igbenedion was adopted.
Acknowledges the importance of inclusive development and state creation and national growth, but insists that no such initiative must come at the expense of a people's identity, history, or sovereignty.
Meanwhile, two Bayelsa lawmakers, Rodney Amabuwe and Ogbofo Ofoji, announced their defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Tajuddin Abbas read their letters in which the lawmakers cited divisions within the PDP's national leadership that have affected state chapters, creating uncertainty over who leads the party's affairs. From the National Assembly, Aniete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
United Nations Right Chief Volker Turk has responded to harsh criticism of Europe from the U.S. President Donald Trump's administration, insisting that the continent has greatly benefited from promoting and protecting human rights. Trump had criticized Europe as being weak on immigration after his administration's national security strategy warned of so-called civilization erasure, saying that the continent's migration policies are creating stiff censorship of free speech and suppression of political opposition. Zara Nazi reports.
Turk insisted that Europe had achieved huge successes in the rights field, noting that regarding the European component of the US strategy, Europe has benefited precisely from the promotion and protection of human rights.
Our resources have been slashed, along with funding for human rights organizations, including at the grassroots level around the world. We are in survival mode, and I was in Brussels yesterday during a meeting with human rights defenders, and all of them all the human rights defenders from around the world told me how dire their situation is.
Talk told a press conference in Geneva that through its courts and convention, Europe established a human rights system that is one of the strongest in the world, calling it an incredible achievement for humanity. Relations between Europe and the United States have become strained on several issues since Trump's return to power in January, from the U.S. rapprochement with Russia to the open support the United States has shown for right parties in Europe. Zahra Nasr reporting for Global TV News.
Now to sports. Nigeria's Super Falcons dropped 1 spot in the latest women's ranking released by the Federation of International Football Association, FIFA. Previously ranked 36th, Super Falcons slipped to 37th but remain the top team on the continent. The ranking follows a strong 2025 performance in which the team won the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations held in Morocco from July the 5th to 26th, securing a record extended 10th continental title. Also, Mikel Arteta says Gabriel Jesus has the quality to be the Arsenal's first choice striker, following the return of the Brazilian international after 11 months on the sideline. The 28-year-old played his first minutes for the club since suffering a knee injury in January, coming on as a substitute in the Gunners' 3-0 win against Club Brugge in the Champions League. Jesus will have to compete with Victor Gyökeres and Kai Havertz, currently sidelined with a knee injury, to be the focal point of Arsenal's attack. And that's it on News Circle. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on the screen using @GlobalTV NG. I am Ubong Usoro. Bye for now.